the audio or anything?
It won't. It'll be fine. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Destiny. Welcome to... Thank you. Welcome to Beyond an Idea. This is, You're my second guest. Well, technically you're my first guest, because my co-host was my first guest. Even though she doesn't really count. But that's okay.
Yay, I'm happy to be the first.
So technically you're the first, yes.
Yeah, technical first.
Technical first. Technical foul. Can we skip this up a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about this.
You can lift it up. Did you want to do that?
I didn't want to scratch your floors or anything. So
it doesn't matter.
So how are you feeling today? Today's what, Sunday?
Yes, and it's pretty cold. I'm just super happy that we don't have snow today.
Yes, not till tomorrow.
Yeah, but we had snow yesterday. My car was absolutely covered in it.
Did we have it yesterday or was that Friday night?
I think it was Friday.
Friday night for sure.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. Snow coming out of nowhere. There was a lot more snow than I thought there was going to be, which makes me think there's going to be a lot more snow tomorrow.
Well, it kind of depends on how much rain we're going to get, but I don't know. I doubt we're going to get that much rain.
It's Oklahoma.
So, yeah, you truly never know. And
You
then
never
with
know.
that, Hurricane Nicole.
Is it a hurricane?
Well, tropical storm, I guess, technically.
Since when?
Did you not hear about that?
No, I haven't heard about that.
Oh, it was down in, I think, Florida? But it ended up being a stronger storm than they expected. Ended up wiping out quite a few houses because the sandbank was already out, taken out from the last hurricane. That was a lot stronger than they anticipated. Can't remember the name of that one. But yeah, we got a lot of... That's why we ended up getting a cold front. It was from that tropical storm.
From a tropical storm, we got a cold front.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I just didn't expect it to. There's a whole tropical storm. How did I not? That's because I stay in a cave. I be inside all day just doing nonsense.
And I work with too many old people to not hear about the news on the daily, almost hourly updates. So
Everything.
honestly.
On everything, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I like, to always get updates when I'm not updated. Somebody's going to update me. Like, you just updated me.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Me and Guy are really involved in the news and politics, so we try keeping ourselves updated. It gets depressing, but I don't know. I'd rather be informed than be in the dark.
Same. I just want to make sure I'm getting the right information.
Well, that's why you have to go through different news sources and think critically about what could possibly be going on.
That's very true.
And as crazy as it sounds, sometimes the wildest conspiracy theories turn out to be true. Which is, in my opinion, absolutely crazy.
Let's talk about it.
Like what? I don't know, I don't know any off the top of my head, but, well, I mean, yeah. Besides, everyone in the 70s, well, 60s, all the way to the 80s, being called freaks for believing in aliens, and then, it was proven true not too long ago.
Yeah, declassified, UFOs, astral projection, all that stuff was apparently confirmed to be real. Mm-hmm. But
it makes you think about, when you think about, worldly news, you got to think about, what's getting released when. Mm-hmm. If a lot of paparazzi and celebrity drama starts dropping, you got to think about what else is going on in the world that's being covered up.
Exactly.
What isn't at the front of the headlines just because this celebrity is doing this?
Do you... What?
Oh, I was just going to say, with the Johnny Depp trials and Amber Heard. It was kind of the start of the Ukraine war. So...
I did notice that, too.
Yeah, a lot of things were getting lost in the news just because those trials were going on. But a lot of it was dramatized for nothing, just to take your attention away from true news.
Because I did notice, the fact that it was covered so much, the trial, and you haven't seen, other, celebrity cases covered like this.
Well, a lot more was going on there, too, because that was also the start of the January 6th insurrection court hearings.
Was that around the same time?
Mm-hmm. That was, at the very beginning, and same with the Mar-a-Lago.
That
was when the very, very, very start of that started. Where they got the court documents to be able to do the investigation of the house. Yeah. Or the search of the house. Huh. Yeah. So, you always got to think about, when celebrity cases come on, or, I don't know, if something that shouldn't be in the news as long as it should be is what's actually going on.
That reminds me of a good example of that was when, do you remember the killer clowns?
Yes.
And how it was just like a big thing. Everybody was posting videos of getting like attacked or seeing them, and they're breaking into houses or even like hurting people, chasing them. And then that's like, I think that's when around the time that Trump became president, or he was like running and they were like really close. And then once he was like finished, like he won, like the clowns were just gone.
Yeah.
There was no trace of any of it left. Like no one was talking about it. It just disappeared. Like,
and it hasn't happened since.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And isn't that what happened with those like recent, like not recent, but when that like those Ebola cases came up, like in Florida, there was like a couple of them, and there was something else that like was distracting over that. That kind of like everyone was just like, what happened to that?
Well, I think I could 100% be wrong. I think it was in California.
Was it?
There was a truck that ended up tipping over that had research lab monkeys in it, and they were supposed to be on quarantine, and they ended up losing 2 of them. Well, at first they said that they lost 2 of them, then they found them, but then the count wasn't right. When you look at the documents, it still shows that they lost 2 of them. And then there are videos from locals from that area that were showing videos of those 2 monkeys like loose in the wild around there. And then people start getting sick with chickenpox. Not chickenpox, the monkeypox.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was when? When was this?
I want to say almost a year ago, I think. I'm not 100% sure on the details. I could look it up, but actually I will do that real quick.
Do that.
Because I don't want to like spread misinformation.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. That reminds me too of like when you were telling me that I think it was either you or somebody you knew had these heavy symptoms that could have been COVID before COVID was COVID. And I believe that. I think there was a lot more that popped up that, just kind of leads to knowing that it was here before it spread everywhere, even though it technically was already spreading everywhere.
But it was in Pennsylvania. And apparently they caught them all, but it was 3 monkeys that they ended up losing. But then locals were saying that they were seeing the monkeys and had video proof of it, of these supposedly caught monkeys that they found. But
wait, so they were still like free even after they said they caught them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
So.
Because if
we'll see how that works.
If they were able to like, I was gonna say if they're able to find others, but if it's in Pennsylvania,
I've honestly never been up to Pennsylvania and don't know much about that area, so I don't know what their terrain is like, how easy it would be for a monkey to hide.
And the fact that, like, the chance of them running into other monkeys, I feel like is pretty low up there.
I'd hope.
It's never 0.
Yeah.
But that's
I don't know what the United States monkey ratio is. Like, I don't know where we have wild monkeys at, or if we do.
I don't think we do. And if we do, it's probably like a scarce amount.
I just, when you go hiking, you worry about like mountain lions and bears. Like, I never thought to worry about monkeys. Because apes will tear you apart. I don't think we'll ever have to worry about apes in the United States, but yeah, they
Hopefully
will.
not. I think like the only like
Or
primates.
no, I think it was orangutans. Are those the ones that people keep as pets?
No, they usually
Or is it
don't they keep chimpanzees?
Chimpanzees, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually chimpanzees, but they can also just inflict all kinds of crazy damage.
Yeah.
Do you
I don't
remember
know.
that? Do you remember that case with the woman that got her like face ripped off?
Yeah, and then her friend
chimpanzee?
called, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, he's ripping off her, doing this and that, ripping off limbs and.
Have you heard the audio to that?
Mm-hmm.
It was haunting. It was wild.
There are just some people who are to the extremes with nature, and like I respect nature greatly, but I also know that nature has its boundaries. Like, have you heard what was his name? He was basically known as the Bear Man, but he would go out and live with the bears up in Canada and would do it seasonally, and he ended up doing it for 12 years, I think. And that last year he ended up having his spouse with him, or his girlfriend at the time, and they ended up getting mauled because he ended up staying past the season. He was supposed to already be gone by that point and ended up getting mauled by one of the older bears.
Is that the ones that were like the bear killed them in their tent?
And they have the audio of it because she ended up I don't know how the girlfriend ended up audioing it or videotaping it, but
That's wild.
yeah, you can listen to the audio. It's very distressful.
It sounds
Distressing, yeah.
Distressing, yeah. Just to like hear the.
Because
Yeah,
Guy
'cause-
and I ended up watching the documentary on it, and it was crazy. Just like this guy was very dedicated to the bears, and like he would get so close to them, like he would end up even petting them sometimes. But like I don't know, he ended up being lucky enough that he ended up petting them when they had already eaten, so he wasn't like a snack. But it's crazy.
That always makes me think like I'll be in the woods hiking and I just it's just my unlucky day with my luck.
Well,
And-
especially with mountain lions, you never really hear them coming. They just get you.
Bears could do the same thing. I mean, it'd be easier to spot a bear, but still, if you're not like expecting it and you're just enjoying your walk,
Yeah.
and the bear is just right behind you.
My worry is I'm a little too ditzy, and sometimes I don't pay attention to where I'm walking. Big mistake on my part, but I'm afraid I'm gonna step on a snake, especially like not a cobra, but
Copperhead.
yeah,
Or a rattlesnake,
copperhead.
or
Well, with the rattlesnake, you'll hear their rattles.
the rattles. Yeah.
I'm worried about one that you can't hear their rattles. Usually they'll hiss or do something, but I don't want to get that close to it.
I feel eventually I'll step on one that's just perfectly camouflaged. Like you wouldn't be able to see it unless you knew it was there. You put
Yeah.
it there. It just blends in so good with the leaves and the surroundings that I always think about like when am I gonna step on one and then I'm gonna be screwed.
Yeah, especially if you're on a hike, because you could be 5 miles in, and then that means you have an additional 5 miles back to the car, and that's a long time for the venom to get going through your blood if it's venomous or poisonous. So
Especially if you're overreacting and just pumping it through faster. You're gonna then you're gonna accelerate that venom going through. That makes me think about that. I feel like the only real primate we have to worry about, I feel like, just out and about, might be a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot.
I mean, I worry about pigs more, but that's because they walk on 2 feet and they carry guns. But
Yeah, it's really like foretelling because you can like smell the grease and the bacon in the air, just right before they make their move. So
that sweat starts on the back of your neck, and you're like, oh shit. Hair starts standing up. You're like, all right, they're here somewhere.
somewhere.
Where are they?
It's close. I thought it was breakfast time, but I guess not.
Smells like the donut shop. Still coffee, still personalities. 2 go hand in hand. Oh, they.
I feel a little safe though, because we know one. I'm not gonna say any names or anything, but we do know a guy that's he's a cop. Well, now he's a detective. But dude's got our back. It's pretty cool. But it's like it's one of the first times I haven't like seen a cop like speak to I guess me and my father and isn't like discriminative or like throwing out stereotypes and shit like that. That was like, oh, bring out the cerveza, bring out the beers, the tacos, blah, blah. This dude's actually pretty cool. But,
I don't know. I always worry
I don't
about
know.
the bunch versus the singularity. Because it's easy for someone to be good by themselves, but is it easy for them to be good in a group?
in a group,
Especially with the pressure of, oh, we need to be these hard asses. We aren't here to serve and protect. Just ego tripping. Because it happens all too often. And with my grandparents having a background in police force and highway patrol and stuff like that, they have even warned me about the new guys because they go on ego trips because they're like, oh, we have all this power over the population when they're just civil servants.
pretty much.
Well, that's what their title is supposed to be. And I don't know. People just need to know their rights in and out and know what to do in case you do get brutalized by the police. Like, if you do want to countersue the apartment, countersue the bond on the police officer. Eventually that bond is going to run out and he's not going to be able to be employable anywhere as a police officer.
That would be a great success.
It's
In my
actually going to
opinion.
punish those bad ones and keep the good ones. Well, the quote-unquote good ones, but I believe everyone has good qualities, but I think it really takes a lot of courage and I don't know, sometimes you're even risking yourself on the line to stick up for what's right, especially in that atmosphere. Because there is so much corruption. And not just here in the United States, just everywhere.
Everywhere.
How many countries have corrupt police to the point where it's the government versus the people?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like we're kind of heading more that way, but we'll kind of see. Our generation is definitely over all the old farts trying to tell us what to do about our future when they're not even going to survive the future.
But are we, though? Because we're still letting a lot of these old farts control us and just make the moves for us.
And blindly doing it, too.
And a lot of people are paying the price for these people that can just run over us like that.
Yeah. Well, we don't think about the people in the shadows, too, that we never hear about.
Those are, yeah.
Like,
You never know.
the people I started working with. They're in the shadows. I never knew a single thing about them. But you never know how many people they have buried, or just that having that much power, what that can do. Now, if you put that in a government position, imagine the power you have then.
Mm-hmm. Or like some of the corruption we saw when we went on vacation down south too. The police just get called up by, some gang member or anything. They're just frightened. They sell out because you're doing your job as a cop and you want to like stand up for like the protect and serve, and a truck full of guys with giant guns come up and like, well, you're either gonna work for us, we're gonna pay you, you do what we want, or we're about to kill you and your family.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pay you more than you're making now. Like, so what do? You sell out. You want to live to see another day. You want your family to live. So it makes sense, that they do it, but it just runs heavily. Like, it's intertwined over there. The more I got to see, the more it becomes clear.
Mm-hmm.
The corruption is everywhere. And it's like, I was talking with somebody about this, and I feel like one of the only ways we'll be able to change things back, which won't be for a long time down there, is if, like, a revolt of the people. It's going to be up to the people.
A revolution.
Yeah. You won't be able to depend on their government or their police, much less their military, which is like a dividing line. There's like some that are fighting against it and some that are bought or corrupt.
Well, if you look back at history too, how many times have civilizations, they do good for a certain amount of time and then it ends up coming down to a revolution and a restart of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, you're going to have a lot of people who die, but you're going to have those survivors that kind of rebuild that community and rebuild that country. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But you got to look at history and how history always repeats itself.
It really does. Do you think that's going to happen here soon, anytime?
I really do. There's just I don't know. There is civil unrest. I don't think we're to the point where it's going to be a problem within maybe the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, next 2 years, because then in 2 years is the election for a presidential election.
I can already see
I know with tensions are already high, but the next one, it also depends on who decides to run and what happens on that, and if we end up having quote unquote fake ballots again, and the election was stolen type of stuff, which I don't think that'll happen. But then there's a lot of talk in the news about how Trump's going to try running again, and if that happens, that's going to be a whole shit show. But he's not even done with his court cases yet.
Exactly.
And he could be tried for treason. He could be punished with death. I doubt that'll happen, but
I doubt it. But I do believe that, I feel like part of me feels like they're going to try to stretch out his whole trials and everything past the presidential thing just so he can't run again until, is that something they could do? Could that prevent him from running? Is that something?
Well, it depends on what they decide to do with the Mar-a-Lago case, because he had presidential, top secret, documents that he was not supposed to have. And it kind of depends on what they want to do with that, and if they determine how much of a sellout he was and how much of that information he sold. Because they know for a fact, they have it on video, where he had meetings where he'd bring those boxes into meetings with foreign ministers and foreign electees and stuff like that.
How stupid can you be, though? But it makes me wonder what...
Some people are so easily sold out that it doesn't matter if they give up their family, their country, as long as they're making more money, as long as they're gaining more capital. Yeah.
I just wonder. I do wonder what he had in there, though. What kind of documents or what kind of information he had that was so...
I bet a lot of it was probably defense information, like what are our game plans for if this happens, what happens, who are we going to deploy if this happens in this scenario. That is very vital information for our country because that is our defense and attack plans.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really help us if other countries know that.
Oh, definitely not.
In terms of nuclear, I'm not for sure. He could have easily had that information. He could have also had the information on different ministries that we had around the world. Like, think of, what is the word that I'm trying to think of? Geez, what is it like when people are undercover?
Interrogation.
Witness protection.
Witness protection?
Yeah.
He
Because
said
we
undercover.
have spies all over the world. And I don't know if you remember when Trump was in office, he had a lot of whistleblower actions that happened within the first year of his presidency.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, where our spies from across the world were dying after he would go have a meeting with foreign ministers or foreign presidents or things like that. Like it happened in Russia. He ended up going over to Russia, had a conference with Putin, and then within that week, we had a few of our spies end up dying. Their cover was blown, and they ended up getting assassinated.
I remember that now, yeah.
Yeah. So it would not surprise me if he would have given up the location of so many more people. Because right after the Mar-a-Lago case, a lot of other people were given special tasks or like new assigned tasks because their location was compromised and their information was compromised.
You think he sold them out?
I think so. I would not.
In exchange for what, though? Like, I'm thinking, like, what could they have offered him besides money? Protection? I mean, that makes sense because a lot of people fucking hate him everywhere. And
not to mention who knows how long Putin has been planning Ukraine and how long he's been just waiting to use that nuclear button of his. Protection for many things.
That's true, but I mean, at one point, I'm trying to think, like, who's going to be the first to actually launch the nukes out of everybody? Because I think everybody shouldn't, like, I think these big leaders should know, like, the detrimental consequences of a nuclear war.
But you got to think, some people are so high and so mighty that they don't care about their own people and their own country. They just care about them and their own gain and their own wealth and their own power. And showing that power and showing that they have power.
Mm-hmm. Then when it's all said and done, they have nothing left to rule.
No. Then, like, I have this power. Well, what good is it if your planet is unlivable?
But yeah, for real.
Uninhabitable. Like, it's just gone.
It's really just a game of, like, you know what I mean? Who's got, like, the bigger sack? But it's like, well, now we're in a nuclear winter.
Well, they also think, like, I can run the world without everyone, but everyone runs the world. Like, there are so many small, intricate bits and pieces that run this world. If he ends up destroying everyone, what is that going to do? He's not going to have anyone. Is he going to do that work? Highly doubtful.
Oh, hell no, he's not. You probably
won't. Or anyone. Whoever decides to give us nuclear winter.
Depending on how many people they decide to save with them, I doubt that they'll make it past, like, I don't know, 2 years, maybe, if even that. Cause
and resources... they can prep as much as they want, but... are they planning on recolonizing the planet, or how exactly is that going to work?
That's why I feel like it hasn't happened yet because of that. But at the same time, I don't think, like, you know, like the high and mighty thing, I don't think that they're really prepared for the actual thing if it was to go down, like a worldwide nuclear war. I don't think they're ready to face what comes after. Even if they have to sacrifice their country and their people and they're still safe.
Because what happens to the people who survive the nuclear blasts, who end up getting mutations and stuff like that? I mean, I know it's going to be shot on sight, but that is going to be a whole disaster that they have to deal with then.
Everybody.
And I'm sure they probably have contingency plans in place for the worst case scenarios, but you can prepare for so much versus reality.
when it's when it's all said and done, how do you deal with that?
Exactly.
You just don't. You can't. You can only do it for so long, and then it's all over. And it was just all for nothing. We just extinguished everybody, just like that.
I know everyone's trying to extend their life, but I don't know. Get your joy out of life. Make the most out of your life, but you don't have to destroy others just to make yours more complete, I guess. I don't know. I don't even understand their concept behind that. Like, destroying people, how does that better your life? But
I don't know. I feel like it's just like a species thing. Probably from the beginning, we were just trying to overcome each other, no matter what.
kill the weaker off.
Yeah, whether it was for food or just for fun or whatever it may have been. We'd always have some kind of personal vendetta just for no reason.
But
just
we're
for the
supposedly this evolved creature now, yet we still have those same primal instincts.
That's why I feel like the worm theory is pretty viable if there is, intelligent life watching us.
Mm-hmm.
You know that one, right?
No, I was about to ask, what's the worm
It's
theory?
basically saying, like, it's a comparison of, like, why aliens haven't shown themselves as to, like, if a human sees a worm, they're not gonna sit there and wonder what it's thinking and, the complexities it has going on. They're either gonna just walk by it or they're gonna stomp on it and just go along their day.
Yeah.
And that's like the theory is like that's why they haven't come yet, because we're too way behind, or it might overreact, or it might interrupt our cycle, or they just don't. They realize we're so primitive in our ways that they're just like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's
just not even worth
alone.
it.
But maybe someday one will stumble upon it's like, oh, this is dangerous. Let's just stomp him real quick, and we're out of here.
Because that's the thing. Like, if they did like truly try making contact, I feel like they would just be met with hostility and like warfare. And I mean, I wouldn't want to stay. I'd be like, y'all are so small-minded that it's not even worth it. And who's to say they're not just gonna be like, fuck y'all, you're not even worth living.
Like, y'all don't deserve this universe like we do.
Yeah.
That's crazy, because I don't know. It just makes me think, like...
I mean, I don't know. I think it's unbelievable that people don't believe that there's more life out there, considering how many galaxies, how many universes are out there. It's kind of selfish just to think that we're the only ones.
And I'm just like, why would there be such a vast space if we're just, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people want to revert back to it, like, in a religion way. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, the earth was created, this and that, just for humans. But I'm like, why create such a huge, vast space of nothing?
Well, a lot of that misinformation is spread by the Christian church, because it's their way or the highway, because the Bible is the one true God and the one true word, even though it's been revised how many times? And it's been changed under how many different rulings?
Many translations and...
And then parts of the original Bible have been taken out because they're unholy. But how can original parts of the Bible be unholy?
Exactly.
Like, how does that work? Yeah. Like, those are your teachings.
So how is this, like, how is this not part of the conversation? Like,
but a lot of Christianity is picky choose. Like, I'm going to follow this rule, but this rule is okay. Like how homosexuality, that's a sin, but so is mixed fibers. You could literally be stoned to death for having mixed fibers in your clothing. Yeah. Or if a woman wasn't a virgin before she was married, she'd be taken to her father's house and stoned.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. So how many people need to be stoned if they're believing in this? So why are we picking and choosing?
It's the same as, like, what they're doing in school is changing, like, rewriting the history. Just whatever fits their doctrine of what they feel is right to make us look better. It's like that's what they go with, I feel. But I don't know, because nobody was there 2,000 years ago. So it's like, who really knows?
But it's also like with the extremely homophobic people that I don't understand, especially when they relate it with Christianity, they will threaten to kill gay or lesbian people just on the street. But then when it's their pastor or something, all they have to do is say, sorry, I repent, and they're welcomed with open arms. But someone minding their business on the street, you want to kill them. But when it's... Yeah, I just don't understand that.
I just don't think you can be this holy, religious Christian person and just look down on other people. I mean, it just completely contradicts what you're trying to preach to me that is real and is viable.
That's why my favorite saying is, "There's no hate like Christian love." If that does not speak volumes.
Man, that just makes me think, and also, like, because, I was pretty much raised up Catholic, I guess. We were never, like, super in-depth with it. And then it was, like, as I got older, I realized, all these issues that people have with it. But I think the biggest issue I had with it was why, like, the popes and the Vatican and the priests and little boys, what is it there? Like, why is it so specifically little boys with the priests?
And if you look back in history, how that kind of changed after the King Charles edition came out. Mm-hmm. Or, it's King Charles edition, isn't it? Or King James. Yeah, King James version. If you look at that ruling after they kind of redid that reedition of the Bible, a lot more pedophilia cases ended up coming out within the church. But then when you look at the translation, it went from boy to man. When it was like, man shall not sleep with boy, to now man
shall not sleep with man.
Yeah.
So it went from pedophilia to homophobia.
Yeah. Which, in my opinion, pedophilia is so much worse than
definitely
homophobia.
And the fact that they were trying to make that part of the LGBTQ, like to add the pedophilia. Yeah. I was like, what?
The LGBTQ do not want pedophiles in the community. If you talk to most people in the LGBTQ, they do not support that.
If you talk to most people anywhere, yeah. Doesn't matter.
Well, not a lot of people support the LGBTQ, though, especially here in Oklahoma, unless they are a part of that community. The younger generation is a lot better, but the older generation is not.
That's crazy. I'm just like, I just don't get it. What's the connection there with the kids and these high priests, and then who knows all the shady stuff that goes on in the Vatican too, like that they're scared to talk about or do. I was recently watching a video of like the Pope and how when he was like meeting like I guess his fans or like the church followers, like he just didn't bear them any mind at all. But when he came to like the famous like figures, like high power figures, he just kneeled before them and shake their hands and basically like he was worshiping them. But it's like to his people, he was ignoring them or just kind of blowing them off or even being rude to them. I'm just like, well, who's really pulling your strings? Who are you really working for, and what do you really believe in?
Well, going back to history again, if you look back, how many government officials use the church to get laws passed? I mean, America is really bad with that because the KKK is a Christian-based community or group, but they had a lot of ties in the government. And they are also a hate group that was funded by, one, the government, and two, the church.
And the fact that, like, today, even still, when they have, like, their rallies, it's so openly, like, you can't distress it. Like, you can't interrupt it. You can't, you know what I'm saying?
I know. It is almost 2023, and we still have KKK groups.
And the fact that they're so well protected while they're doing their thing, but, like, other protest groups that, even if they do a peaceful march, it's, like, you can't see it.
And how in Georgia, they're still battling slave laws. And, like, what is the law? It's basically a hate speech law and an assault law. But I need to look that up before we talk more on that one. But, yeah. Or at least on tape.
Well, whenever you need to, look up something, just go ahead. Oh my gosh, that's never happened before.
Talking so long?
No, because the other one we did was like an hour and 7 minutes ish, and that didn't. That's because I was probably just fiddling with it, just to make sure.
Yeah, the general law is basically like because you know the blood percentage laws, don't you?
The what?
The blood drop laws. Like if you have one drop of any type of African or black in you, you're technically designated as black or POC of some type. The one drop laws. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not specifically that one.
Oh, okay.
But
that's really bad down in Georgia, and it's leading to their higher incarceration rates because corruption and police brutality and
the fact that it's still a thing, like such a big deal today.
And that's what they're fighting against, trying to get those laws overturned because they're so outdated. But I'm pretty sure Georgia was the last state to abolish slavery, weren't they?
It was one of those. It was Georgia or... It was
Look it
definitely
up.
a Confederate state, for sure. But just the fact that how big of an issue it still is just mind-blowing. Huh? What's up, girl?
Oh wow! Apparently it was New Jersey that was the last.
New Jersey?
Yeah,
That's kind of surprising.
I know. I guess it says slavery's final legal death. Oh. Why is it just showing me New Jersey? Because I looked up who was the last to abolish slavery, and it was said on December 6th, 1865. That just says in the United States. Sorry, this is not going as well as I thought.
It's alright. Was
Cannot
New
find
Jersey
it.
part of the Confederacy? I can't exactly remember.
I don't know.
I was gonna say, like, if that was recent, it might have been just something that was overlooked for so long they didn't realize it was still there, and they're like, oh, okay, we gotta change that right now. But I doubt that was the case. Does she need to go outside?
I don't know. Do you need to go outside, Evie? Or are you just pacing because we're not playing with you? I think she needs to go outside.
I guess she keeps standing by the door, so I was just wondering. Where's the girl?
I can't find it, but I tried looking up the newest one too because there was something in 2013 that was major. I can't really think of what it was, but it's just talking about critical race theory, which I think is crazy that even exists, because it's just kind of asking, like, do we need to censor history or not? You shouldn't have to censor history.
No, you shouldn't, because it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just...
You shouldn't feel happy and giddy when you talk about history. You're typically, yeah.
Yeah, because...
Because history isn't always pretty. And that's what we learn from, is the not so pretty aspects.
Yeah, and that's what we need to acknowledge that so it doesn't repeat itself, even though history repeats itself. But the best way to do that is to acknowledge what was wrong, but it just seems like it will repeat itself. That's the problem.
But some schools are even getting upset with that statement, though, history repeating itself, because history shouldn't repeat itself, but I don't know, if you look statistically, history repeats itself.
Exactly.
Like, it happens. Like, I don't understand. You can wish and hope that it doesn't happen, but it's going to happen regardless.
Collectively, we just can't learn from our mistakes for some reason. It's like you said, like, one person will be good, but in a group, it's a whole different thing. Even if they know right,
Yeah.
they'll still go with the flow of not being...
They'll still go with the popular majority, or majority rule.
Yeah, at that point, you know, the needs of the many overcomes the needs of the few. And that's bullshit.
How many people live their lives like that?
Too many.
Yeah.
Even when they don't know it. And that's the thing, is like, people
Usually,
just...
yeah.
They aren't knowledgeable to it. So, like, I'm going to use this because my feet are a little cold.
Yeah. I moved it over there for you.
Thank you.
You could. Yeah, I was over there the whole time.
I know, I just didn't... I don't know.
Yeah, you're good. But yeah.
Do you want to take her out real quick?
Yeah, I need to take her out.
Okay.
Okay.
We can always pause.
Yeah.
Let us continue.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know what we're talking about when we stopped.
It's okay. We can jump on something different.
Okay.
Excuse me, Eves.
Evie, come here. Just sit down. She'll move
Okay.
right into your arms.
Right into my arms. Right where a dog belongs. Right in my arms.
She's a very good cuddler, so.
I plan to get a Belgian Malinois one day. Malinois, whatever.
Are those big sheepdogs?
Kind of look like German Shepherds with shorter hair,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. It's a Belgian Shepherd, basically. But
I told Guy that whenever we get our farm or the farmland, I really want a good livestock dog or guard dog.
mm-hmm.
But it's kind of hard to train a guard dog because when you have friends and stuff over, you can't have anyone interact with that dog. You have to put them out Because you don't want them to be too friendly, because they're just going to let strangers onto your property.
Oh, yeah.
And it can only have, like, 2 to 3 people max that can interact with it.
Like, for all its training, or just, like...
In general, like... Because, like I said, you want them comfortable with the family, but you only want, like, 2 masters max. Like, who can do the commands, who can train it, that type of thing. Because if you have too many alphas, then it just doesn't work out. If I really want a guard dog.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, and, like, a house in the middle of the property, because, like I said, we're going to get, like, 20 plus acres.
Sorry.
So I want a long driveway.
I'm sorry, I just smacked you there.
What, you are just eating this up. She acts like she never gets attention. Just a lie.
You get all kinds of attention. That's one reason I love dogs. It's so awesome.
Are you gonna be moving soon, or are you staying with your parents for a bit?
Probably staying there for a bit.
Okay.
Eventually gonna probably either move back to the house or start looking for my own.
Okay.
But I would like to get some land too. Honestly, I want to get away from people.
Same. But you gotta make sure you get enough, because if development starts happening around you, it could end up right in your front door.
That would be terrible.
Yeah. Have you considered getting a cat or a dog or bunny or...
Dog, for sure.
Dog.
I've only gotten along with one cat in my life.
Really?
And she was just absolutely chill. She'd climb up and just kind of do like this.
Oh.
She was a
Needing the biscuits.
Former roommate's cat. She had unfortunately passed away, but she was the chillest cat I've ever met. And the other day I was with, I was at a friend's house, and his cat gave me an allergic reaction. I've never had any kind of allergic reaction to anything that I can remember.
Yeah.
I started getting itchy, my eyes got all red, and it was just weird. It was a male black cat, and he said it might be like the pheromones that he was giving off, so it's like different. Because I've mostly been around like female cats.
Yeah.
I've been around some male cats, but that's never happened. Like, it was bad to where I had to leave. Like, I had to leave outside and just go from there.
Oh, jeez. One time me and Guy were over at Vega's house, and Vega has 2 cats. And I guess Guy has never really been around cats, and he was petting the cats. His eyes got so watery and so puffy, and, like, he almost couldn't see. Like, they were that swollen.
Damn.
And, like, he was sneezing, and nose was running and everything. He had the audacity to ask us, "You think I'm having a reaction?" He was like, "I'm fine." And he was like, "I don't think I'm allergic to cats." And he could not open his eyes, and, like, his nose was running, and he was sneezing. I was like, "You're having all the signs of a reaction." He's
Poor
just
reaction.
petting this cat. Like, "You think I'm having a reaction?" Yes. Yes, I do.
I had all those things happen besides my eyes getting, like, super
It's
puffy.
puffy. Did they at least get red and itchy, though?
They were red and itchy.
Yeah.
That's where it started, was, like, itchiness, and I'm just like, okay, what's going on? Mm-hmm. And I started sneezing. I started getting, like, a runny nose. My eyes got super red after that. I didn't feel them get puffy, but I did feel my face getting warm.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, it was...
I bet if you would have stayed, though, like Guy did, you would have gotten puffy and wouldn't have been able to see you.
Well, the problem was they were recording. So, me sneezing in the background, you know, just for, like, respect, I was like, let me just hop on out of here.
I'm so thankful I'm not allergic to cats. But if I ever become that rich old white lady, I really want to get one of those hairless cats and pamper the fuck out of it. Like, put it in the little onesies and, like, I mean, they're cold all the time, and you gotta, like, rub lotion on them, and, like, it's a hassle to own those cats. But, like, if I'm in retirement, I want one of those.
Sounds like you're pretty close to getting, like, you know, possibly.
I'll say we got 10 years, and I'm not about to hook up with some old rich white dude.
I didn't say anything about hooking up with anybody.
Ugh. My Nana was like, he could probably try offering to buy your love, and I'm like, that's not gonna happen. I'm not materialistic enough for him. Ugh, I could never.
I couldn't either. I don't.
And,
yeah.
like, I told the guy, like, with him having his PA and then me possibly getting my doctorate or doing farm work, kind of just depends on where we end up landing. I don't want to be so well in doubt to where we, like, I don't know, we have that throwaway money where, like, things don't even have importance anymore.
I feel like if I had that throwaway money, I'd just invest it into doing new things. That's the point I was trying to get to earlier. I completely got off track. Was like, I feel like if I did get like come into like a large amount of money, I would have to use it to like help people around me. Because then I feel like if I use it for myself, I'll eventually do everything I've wanted to do, and then I'm just gonna be like my mindset. I'd be sitting there just waiting for death. Like, okay, I've done everything I want to do.
Well, something I've been thinking about, especially if we get this farm, and I get it up and running and it goes really well, you can end up growing a lot more crops than you actually need to. And if we learn anything from the rich, is tax write-offs. There are a lot of things that you can do to get a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Like donations. All the extra food that we make, we can donate to those that actually need it. Like, to the community, to just whoever needs it. We can make things, like, because I really want to do a goat farm, so I want to do goat cheese, goat milk. We're going to have that out the ass. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can sell some of it, but I would like to give back to the community, too, and then you can also use that as a tax write-off, which kind of helps your wealth while also helping the community.
That'd be good. That'd be really good.
Hmm.
If you ever have any baby goats, I'd like to purchase one. My sister really wants a baby goat one day. So I could surprise her with a little baby goat.
Does she just want to see a baby goat? Because she could just come by whenever we have baby goats and play with all the baby goats.
That'll probably
and not have the responsibility of taking care of a goat. Because eventually it's going to turn into a full-grown goat.
Full-grown goat, yeah.
Yeah, but if you ever need any, like, brush hogging done, you can borrow the goats through nature's weed whacker. They will eat everything. Yeah, everything. They will eat bushes, small trees.
Paper, clothes, everything.
Tin cans. Literally.
That would be such a painful process in digestion.
Well, I wonder what their digestive enzymes contain.
It must be
pretty strong.
Yeah.
Just a pit of acid.
I got another question for you. Actually, not. We're on this subject.
Yes.
Do you think that Carol Baskins did it?
Makes me wonder what else was going on in the news other than Carol Baskins.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do think she killed her husband, but what else was happening?
What else was happening at the time?
Yeah.
What was happening at the time?
We don't know. What's going to get released in 10 years? Like, oh, this entire complex ended up falling into a vat of acid, and we ended up having a national security threat, and no one knew about it. But Carol Baskins... Tiger King, yeehaw.
We'll play some bumfuck Oklahoma. She definitely did it, but you know.
Because I definitely think it was perfect timing when that was released. Because I was at the beginning of COVID, and it kind of soothed everyone at the beginning of COVID. Because they're like, oh, we can binge watch Tiger King.
Yeah.
We're going to be stuck at home anyways.
I watched the whole thing, too. It was interesting.
Same. I didn't watch the new season, I think. I started to, and I was like, this is just dragging on way too long. Like, this is making drama out of nothing.
The first season seemed to have just covered everything that it needed to cover.
I agree.
But I do hate shows that just run for one season and they're really, really good, and then there's just no more. And I'm just like, man, why? Make more seasons, please.
I've had a few that I don't know if they're making new seasons or not, but I hope so. That I finished. Like, we're watching Over the Garden Wall right now. Have you seen that?
Not yet.
It's pretty good. I think it's by Ghibli Studios. I've been watching a lot of their movies recently. Pretty good.
I was gonna watch what was it called? The Watcher? The Watcher? It's a new one. It's on Netflix.
The Witcher?
Not The Witcher.
Oh wait, no, The Watcher.
The Watcher? It's like a.
I saw that. I don't know. It reminds me of White Suburbia.
I haven't seen it yet, but it does look like it would be.
Yeah.
Did you see with the Terrifier movies?
Terrifier.
The clown, like the clown, like the killer clown. Very
the
sharp.
John Wayne Gacy tapes, or
no. It's like it's a movie. It's not based on anything. Just like a killer clown.
I've seen it.
Close enough.
That was pretty good.
So they were saying that they were doing these early screenings of the movie, like with random audiences. Like the sequel came out,
Yeah.
and they said that there were some scenes that were so gruesome that they started offering barf bags like as you walked into the movie because people were having that bad of reactions to it. But I've seen so many movies and videos that I'm just like, what could be so bad that would cause people to throw up like that?
Well, I don't know about you, but
Some people are just sensitive to gore and blood.
well, I don't know about you though. Like working in the nursing field, how much gore and gross and mutilated things. I don't know. I've seen a lot of mutilated, gross bodily fluids of all types. That I'm kind of just desensitized to all of that. Cause like
So
I don't know. Sometimes that's just a regular Monday morning. Unfortunately.
I guess that little time I spent working in the ER at Integra Southwest, I saw a lot of gruesome things, a lot of body parts hanging out and stuff.
Broken bones. That you're like Why is your leg in a triangle? That should not look like that.
I don't think that's right. Something's definitely going on there. But I've seen so many things that, yeah, I'm just desensitized to so much stuff. And it's like...
And the smells, too. Like, with movies like that, the first thing that pops in my head is, I'm so happy I can't smell that. Because I know what that smells like. I'm so happy I don't have to smell that. So, I don't know. Maybe that's my reaction, why I'm not, like, grossed out by that stuff. Because I'm like, the smell is so much worse than the sight. If we're being honest, to me at least.
Yeah, like seeing it just doesn't bother me.
No.
Honestly. The smell does do something different.
And like, I don't have to clean that up. Like, that sounds bad, but like, I don't have to put that person's organs back in their body. I've had to put a person's organs back in their body before and suture them up. At least in a movie. I know that's not my responsibility.
True.
And that sounds bad, but like, I don't have to suture them up.
Someone's gonna do it. It's not gonna be me, but someone's gonna do it.
Yeah.
What I hate is when I see things that are bad, but if like the smells are familiar, like to something like, let's say like a food, and you're just like, fuck.
Yes.
And then you smell the food, and you're just like, you remember, and I'm just like, man, that's gross. You're like, why does it smell so much like something that's actually good to me?
When we went to Nevada, there is this little shop that we stopped at, and I love curry. Like, I absolutely love it. But this little shop, I don't know, it's like a pineapple coconut curry. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, it had some weird flavors in there. But I don't know. I don't know, but it kind of smelled like C. diff, and I could not eat it. No. I was like, oof. I couldn't. And, like, it kind of had the same texture, and it kind of looked like it, too. And I was like, oh, I can't. And I loved curry so much. I was like, I'm so upset.
Honestly, I haven't had curry. Because I always feel like when I have the new food, I have to have a good experience with it, or it's going to ruin the whole thing. That's not true, because I'll always try other things. Like, my first experience with sushi wasn't too great, but then when I started having other places with good sushi, I was like, hell yeah.
Well, I have this friend, her name's Ambika. She's from Nepal, and she actually came over because her boyfriend, I don't know, he's a little odd, but he doesn't like her cooking curry in the house because he can't stand the smell. Okay. So I invited her over. I was like, hey, come cook it at my house, and so she made us curry. It was the best curry I've ever had. She did it so well.
I'm waiting to find a really good place so I can experience curry for the first time, but I just don't know anywhere around here. I don't know anybody who knows of a good place.
Have you ever been up to Basil, the Mediterranean cafe?
That's over by the one on 39th and MacArthur?
I don't know if it's on MacArthur.
I've seen that name before, I swear I have.
It is so good, and their tea, oh my goodness. And they even have the Turkish espresso shots.
Huh.
The ones where they heat it up over the sand, and it kind of looks like a magic trick because the cup fills up, and then they pour it, and then they just put the cup right back on the sand, and it fills up again, and it's like, oh, that's a magic trick. I don't know how that works at all, but...
That sounds... I don't know. I like seeing stuff like that. It makes me feel...
It's off 23rd Street.
Oh, 23rd.
Yeah.
And 23rd and what? I think I was thinking of...
Walker Avenue.
Walker Avenue. I think I was thinking of Zamzam's, actually.
It's by Jefferson Park.
I've definitely seen it. I've just never been... Oh, my lenta. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
like
there's
me.
that.
But yeah, Paseo District.
I like the Paseo District.
Me too.
I've only been there once, but it was such a good experience. No, I've been there twice actually. Once for work, once with a friend. And it was such a good. It was so refreshing because I hadn't seen anything like that in Oklahoma like that. I hadn't gotten out much at the time, so seeing that was refreshing.
I go down there quite a bit because my friend Vega, they have a small boutique down there called Dig It, and it's full of like vintage and oddity type things. But they're a clothing store, they're a jewelry store. They have some really good items down there. I like them. They're reasonably priced too for what they get, but they have this cute purse that I'm probably gonna get soon. But it looks like a Chinese takeout box.
Yeah.
So cute.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I need to just because for a long time, like when I get, I guess bored or don't have anything to do, I just drive around places that I've never been to before. I'm sure someone's probably seen me and be like, "What the hell is that guy doing around?" You know what I mean? Like I'm just driving around trying to find new spots or just new locations and just look around, explore.
Do you like going to nightclubs or anything like that? Like dancing? Going to hookah lounges or...
I've always wanted to go to a hookah lounge, but I haven't. But I hear it's fun.
We'll have to go to one. They're okay. I don't really like nicotine, so like I take a few puffs and I'm good.
You're good.
I like the environment, but if you like nicotine, then it's pretty good. And it's a whole experience too, and you can get tea and stuff.
That sounds nice. I don't know about nightclubs, but stuff like that I feel like would be more of my chill cafes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like low light, like soft music, like jazzy stuff playing
More
in the background.
jazz clubs.
Yeah, stuff like that. I also want to find I know there's like a comedy club on Expressway, but I want to go to like a local
Looney
comedy.
Bin?
I think it was Looney Bin, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been there?
Mm-mm.
No?
But I've seen it. I think it's over by the PetSmart.
Yeah, it's right next to the Ross and
Yeah.
PetSmart, yeah. I've heard about it, but I've never been.
I don't know how I feel about stand-up comedy and comedy stuff like that. I don't know. I've never really been like...
A big fan?
Well, I don't know if I've ever really been like exposed to it.
There's only like certain comedians that'll really get me like to where I'm just like, yeah, I want to watch this. And like I'll sit through the whole thing and I'm just like, okay, this is my type of humor. I've watched some, but I'm just like, that was a waste of time.
Yeah. I just had an ex who tried doing it, but like, I don't know. It was, I don't know, not my pace, but not my thing.
It wasn't your.
I'd be down to try again. I don't know.
Yeah, it really does. Like the person doing it can make or break it.
Yeah.
Most of the times it's break it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I appreciate the dedication and the work that they put in. It's not for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I'd still like to see one locally and see, just see around, see what's going on.
I like going, it sounds weird, but I like going to the drag shows and the dance shows and the fashion shows that we have, though. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know. If it's more art-based, I liked it, but if it's more, like, vocal, like the comedy club or, like, singing, I don't know.
I don't mind if those are, like, parts of what they do. Mm-hmm. Like, if they have more stuff going on than just, like, stand-up or music. Like, they have more shows, more people doing stuff.
I do like a lineup, like a combination of things, but, like, if it's stand-up after stand-up after stand-up...
You can get old.
Yeah. Especially because sometimes they seem to repeat the same... jokes.
Always like the same topics.
Yeah, same topics.
Just different iterations of the same thing.
Yeah.
That could get tedious, boring too.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate their hustle, but not for me.
Yeah.
But I'd be down to try again. Or, like, I'd like to go to a big show. I really like the theater more. Like
performance theater or like movie theater?
Both.
Both.
But I do like performance theater a lot. Like the interpretive dances that UCO has going on. They like to give light to different cultures. So I really like that.
I'd be down to go see a show like that sometime. It's like, I don't see many. And like...
UCO usually always has something going on.
I remember OCCC had they were hosting two of the cast members of The Office. I think it was Oscar and Kevin, characters. I'm not sure. It was two of them, I remember, but I didn't get to go to it. I don't remember what was going on, but I was really excited to see that, but we just didn't.
Just couldn't go.
Yeah. That'd been nice just to like do something different.
I really like, we went to California with my school, and we ended up seeing a live play, or a live action play of Aladdin, and that was really good. It was really good. And they even had him, like, flying around on the carpet and stuff. It was so cool. I love shows like that, though.
Those
I've
are
never
nice.
seen, like, the Disney on Ice or anything, but I think that would be cool, too.
I remember seeing one, it was of The Lion King.
On Ice, or just a play?
Just a play. That was very interesting.
I was about to ask, how was that?
It was good. Like, they hit as much as they could. And it wasn't bad, you know? A lot of it is obviously, like, a little different for, you know, the performance itself, but...
Well, yeah, because there's certain things that you can't really do in a play versus a movie.
Yeah, like the scene with, Mufasa and off the cliff thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was just very dramatized. I remember that being kind of humorous. It's like, okay, it just made the whole scene not sad at all, just because the way it went down. It was very dramatic.
I'll say how dramatized it was.
That was something to see. That was hilarious.
I really hope to go to more. I really want to see the Nutcracker. I've never seen it, but OKC is known for their Nutcracker performance. So.
You know who else I'd like to see in person? Is, what was it, the Trans-Siberian?
Oh, yes, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
I'd love to see them, especially during, like, Christmas. That'd be so cool to see.
Do they
still?
That's what I was about to ask. Do they still go on, like, tour and
tour?
stuff? I don't know. Let me check real quick.
Yes, please.
I figured that they're just, like, switching people out, like, retiring people, and they're going to keep it going instead of, like, just shutting it down. But I'm not for sure either.
You know what else I would attend? It would be, like, a full show with, like, an orchestra or, like, band of them, like, covering, like, video game music. Like, made into, like, a full...
Oh, hey. So, sorry,
There you
I
go.
didn't mean to interrupt you. December 8th, which is a Thursday, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra will be in Oklahoma City.
What?
Yeah.
Just talking about it, and there it is. On a Thursday, though? Man. December 8th.
Let me see how much the tickets are.
How much are the tickets?
But yeah, 7 p.m. at the Paycom. Whew. Ranging from... So the lowest is 112, and the highest is 292.
That's still technically not that bad, honestly.
No.
Especially if they give you the whole experience and, like, you're watching everything and, like, it's a show.
That's true.
The money you lose on that is worth the experience. You know what I mean? Because the money will come back. So it's like...
Or I think that was... Let me see real quick. Because I had that for 3 people. Yeah, it's still about the same. But yeah, the minimum price is 112 and the max price is 332. Actually, so.
How does that go? Like front row seats and stuff like that? Is that for like front row seats or how is that?
Oh, I'm assuming
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah. But it looks like they still had a little bit of availability. I don't know how long that'll last. I'm not for sure how often they come by. So.
What's coming up? What's today? That's the 13th. 13th.
Yeah. I honestly don't think we can go this year because that's the week that we are moving. Yeah. We're probably going to move in the 1st or the 2nd. Oh, I don't even know because we're going to my mom's too for Thanksgiving. It's going to be a busy, crazy week, but...
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
But once it's done...
It's done, yeah.
Yep. Once it's
but
all finished, once you're settled...
That week before we move in, though, I'm going to be working a 60-hour week, so... Yeah. The elite are wanting 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're part of the elite now, in a way. How does that make you feel?
I hope I get a good Christmas bonus.
That sounds like it might be really nice, though. From, like, what I know so far.
Yeah.
Christmas bonus.
I hope so, especially if I'm one of his favorites. I'm probably going to tease him and, like, make it to where we have a good Christmas.
Like, wouldn't it be funny if I got $1 million for Christmas and out of nowhere, hey, your bank account's full?
Wouldn't it be funny if I got a Jaguar for Christmas? We could be twinsies. We could get matching ones.
This is gonna sound really shitty, but if I got a gift like that, I would sell it and then split that up into other gifts for myself.
Yeah, no, same. I would sell it immediately. Because the insurance and the upkeep on that isn't even worth it. Yeah.
The parts, I can only imagine, like, maintenance, how much that is. If something
Especially
breaks...
for a 2022 Jaguar, yeah. I
like,
just can't even imagine.
Even, like, older European cars, like, the parts are still super expensive. It's crazy.
I just... the elite are disgusting. That's what I'm leaving it at.
I wonder what would happen if, like, we do, like, you know, like in the movies, do, like, swap lives for a day just to see what it's like.
I'd drain their bank accounts. I'd be like, all right, we're helping everyone. Let's get going.
You guys have plenty more coming in tomorrow, so, like, what we use today?
What was the pin to this card again? Yeah. Sorry, I can't remember.
I wonder if that would humble a lot of elitists. Probably not.
No.
But I can't wait for this day to be over. I'm going to go back to my, fucking 10 house. 10
They'd probably
house.
just hide for that entire day.
Like, no, you live in this life today. You're going to eat this food. You're going to do these things. You're going to be a...
I would like to switch for, like, an entire month, because I feel like that would give you time to, like, truly understand what that class is like.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Yeah.
At least even, like, a couple weeks.
It's like a good month, though. Like, that would be... Gives you time to, like, pay bills, stuff like that. Worry about bills. For them, at least.
You have to, like, go work your job.
Yeah, and eventually you're going to have to work. Cause if you live in my house, we're going to run out of food by the first week. You got to go shopping. You got to make money to go shopping. So.
Like, what is shopping?
This dude legit has never been to a Walmart or a Target or a Kohl's or anything like that. And I joked with him. I was like, "All right, we're going on a vacation to a Walmart." And he legit looked at me, looked like he was about to cry. He was like, "Please don't make me go to Walmart." I was like, "I was just joking. We don't have to go."
There's a certain appeal / like a non-appeal about going to a Walmart, but
well, it's not the same anymore, especially after COVID, because you don't have the late night trips.
I know. I used to love going like after work or like at night to Walmart. Late night Walmart shenanigans. Remember I brought that up?
Yeah.
I always love Walmart shenanigans. Or anywhere, any kind of shenanigans.
Even That's why Whataburger still has a place in my heart.
Yes.
Go there crossfaded at 3 a.m. You're warmly welcomed with a chocolate shake and those chicken finger sandwiches they have.
The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich. Man, I'm hungry now.
Me too. My stomach's growling.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably not as loud as yours, but...
That was embarrassing.
You're hungry.
But it's like, in my mind, I'm not hungry, but I know I gotta eat. I'm not trying to starve myself, I'm just not. Nothing sounds good. I think it's probably due to like a minor hangover, but I didn't wake up feeling shitty. I just woke up super early. It was like 5:12, I think, when I woke up, and I just couldn't go back to sleep.
It's not your emotions repressing the hunger?
I don't think so. Because I was super happy last night. It was such a good time.
Was it because you were drunk?
That added to it. But it was like the whole vibe of the room, and we were all watching one thing and just all tuned in and just having a good time.
Well, that's good.
Experiences,
Yeah.
Because I dropped a good amount on like the pay-per-view, but I'm just like, that money's coming back this week anyways.
Yeah.
We all had a good time. Everybody got pretty messed up, and it was nice.
Had a good time.
And I don't drink like that anymore, or like I don't drink like that, period. But it was fun. It was really fun.
That's good.
But this is the weird part, is like when I smoke, like it's getting, like my anxiety goes up. But when I've been drinking, it calms it down. But I don't want to get into that motion where like, oh yeah, this might be a solution, because I know it's definitely not a solution.
Yeah.
But I want to find like that bliss, instead of a temporary state, have it be prolonged to where I can just chill.
I don't know, maybe other herbs might help. Like, I don't know, not necessarily just smoking God's green earth, smoking like lavender or some of that passion flower or blue lotus. Especially if you want to, what is it called? When you're dreaming, but you can kind of like control your
lucid dreaming?
Yeah, lucid dreaming. I have never done it myself, but I heard a lot of people use passion flower and blue lotus to do that.
Huh. I
So
swear
it
I
was a
was.
dream.
I swear it happened last night. I had a really weird dream last night.
Was that when you took the drops in the tea, or?
No, because I was wasted last night. I feel like it
Okay.
would have been a waste. Yeah.
Okay.
No, the night I did that, I slept good. I don't even remember
Good.
what time I passed out. I just know I woke
You
up, it was
just
morning,
passed
and I
out.
was like, ooh, you know what I mean? I was stretching like, yep, that was a good sleep.
Got a deep sleep.
Yes, that was a very good sleep. But it was ruined by getting up and going to class. It wasn't ruined. I was just so relaxed. Like, I can just stay here.
I don't necessarily have to get up, do I?
Probably not. Probably like 9 times out of 10. I don't need to, but I should.
Look for that.
Well, I think this is a good stopping point.
I think so.
Destiny,
It's been fun.
it's been very fun. We've got an hour and 10 minutes worth of content.
Yeah, you.
Huh?
So you're probably gonna splice and stuff a little, or not most, but a good chunk, because there's some dead air in there.
Not probably just like when we got up and, you know. You alright, Eves?
Why you growling at?
Well, ladies and gentle fish, gentle bitch. That's one thing I forgot about.
Huh.
I don't have an outro yet.
Hmm.
Thank you guys. I don't know. I'll throw it in there at some point.
Yeah, and you could always change it around if you find one that really goes for you or
Yeah.
works for you.
That's why I'm still working on the intro and everything. I was just trying to experiment with all this, make sure it all works, and it does work. So, we good.